Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going through my BBL team reveal 2.0. I know that it's another team reveal, but the last one we did, the first one was made up within about 5-10 minutes of the game opening, and also that is already two and a half weeks old. A lot of things have changed. In this video is mostly going to focus around the strategy of fixturing. We did touch on it briefly, and we have touched on it pretty extensively throughout the BBL team previews, but this one's going to go more in depth about how you can sort of load up early, the 3-week principle that a lot of top BBL content creators sort of focus on. So we'll look into that. We'll look into how I'm setting up my side, who, and sort of more so the structure. The names aren't exactly final. I know that I've probably got, out of the 17 names on my team sheet, there's probably about 13 or so that I'm gonna go with, and I think it's gonna be very, very common, those 13. But we'll just go through most of the selections here, what I'm sort of thinking alongside that, and go from there. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's jump into this. So, first of all, as you can see on the screen, you can see my side here that I've got currently. In the wicket-keeping slot, we did, in the first team reveal, have Benny McDermott in the emergency wicket-keeper slot, but I've decided, based on something that I'll show you in a couple minutes with an Excel document, just showing you sort of how you can double up on games, that actually starting Benny McDermott is probably the best way to go, because of just getting access to that extra double game. Is probably more valuable than having keepers that are going to be sort of, I guess, in a way, sharing the double. Because you've got people like Joe Clark, who does have the double in round 3. I did look at him, but having a double in round 3, there's just more value having someone like a Bancroft who's going to double in round 2. And I believe Bancroft he might take the gloves this year. I haven't done my particular preview for the Sydney Thunder. I haven't actually made their projected starting 11 yet. Haven't done that yet, but I have a feeling Bancroft is either going to be in the outfield or is going to be taking the gloves. And Bancroft taking the gloves with their spinners at the Sydney Showgrounds. I don't know if they actually play there on the double. Let me just quickly have a cheeky look at that. I don't want but that's going to be the exact round. Monica Oval and Angie both are sort of tacky tracks. This could actually do really well. So they are coming up against the Brisbane Heat, who don't actually have the particularly strongest batting lineup, and Sydney Sixers. That could be interesting there. I think he could actually do really well there. So I think that's a win. So that's the reason behind that. I could have easily, let's just show you this with Bancroft out. If we go to the teams that do have the doubles early, it's Brisbane, it's Hobart, it's Melbourne technically, Melbourne Stars. Perth have it in round 4, Sydney Sixers and Sydney Thunder. So we're looking at these players and we go, Billings is going to keep. That's who's going to keep, not the likes of Bancroft. Bancroft will be in the outfield, so unless Billings comes up ill. I was thinking about Matt Gilks here, but I'm looking at that Thunder double because the Heat, I don't really rate any of their keepers, and I don't think they'll go well. I don't even know if Jimmy Pearson will play, so therefore I'm looking at these guys going, you could go with Sam Billings, but that's rather expensive, whereas a Cam Bancroft going to probably hopefully open the batting or bat in the top order and field in the outfield. He's going to do pretty well, and that's sort of the reasoning behind that, and just getting that extra access to an extra game, because double game weeks are particularly useful, and you just got to take advantage of them when they come up. And that's one of the scenarios where you can just get another chance at a batter. And the wicketkeeper slot in the end, when we actually look at it in like rounds 8, 9, some of the later rounds, you're kind of just putting a player in there and hoping that they score. It's kind of a position that you can flog off and not really care about as much. Whereas the batters and the bowlers, like I can show you already, if we look at just here, if we take out Rian Ahmed and look at the bowlers here, if we look at the bowlers, you'll have probably in the end Matt Short, Glenn Maxwell, Jamie Overton, Mitch Owen in your bowlers, in your batters slot, sorry, and they're all going to probably bowl 2-3 overs a game, and that'll be your and that will be your batter slots. And then the bowler slots, you'll probably be looking at someone like a Cooper Connolly, a Berendorf, a Will Sutherland, and then others there, and like a Sam Curran, etc. You'll really be looking at those guys for your batter slots, and the money in the wicket-keeping slots. If we just go here quickly, 152 is the most expensive, and then 122, you're probably looking at Rizwan going to fall down to about that Tom Alsop level. And for regular keepers in the last couple of years, it has been around that 41, 42 that they average for most parts. So that's going to be in and around the range of someone like, around this 110k. So that means that Rizwan's even lower down. And that means the top end for the keeper is around about, if we look here for the bowlers, for the batters, sorry, it's around about top 25 or so for the batters. Probably top 30, 25, 30 for the batters, because we expect a lot of these really fallen guys to jump up again. So you can just sort of see how that pans out and how that's really leaning towards that wicketkeeper spot. You put someone in potentially on the double, and then you just hope that they score, but you don't really care as much because your big name players are in your batsmen, your bowlers, and the flex position. But let's quickly just put Rian Ahmed back in there. Okay, and then if I just go to this again, you'll see that in the team here, you'll also see that I've got Mitch Owen at the first batsman. That hasn't changed. That won't change. He's pretty much been a lock ever since with the captaincy on him. Babar Azam, this is one that I'm willing to take the risk on just because I need the double players. And he's been in decent form. I know we just hit 100 in a chase in an ODI format. Let's take that with a grain of salt. But it was him scoring runs, and that was, good to see. And I think just looking at his stats, if he can get off to a decent start, he's going to come up against a weakened Perth outfit in the first game of the year. He could easily score a couple of 50s off like 40 balls, sort of just guiding the Sixers through against the Scorchers and the Adelaide Strikers. If he can do that, he's going to score potentially 140 points, but obviously if 250 or 40s. But I think he could easily score somewhere around that and just have that one big innings. He's known for that. He might fail a couple of times, but he's going to do it. I know we had a really good campaign a couple of years ago with the Somerset outfit, I'm pretty sure, and the Vitality Blast. So I'm really looking at that. Now we get on to a couple of question marks. One of the question marks in the team is Rian Ahmed. There was a tweet gone out about him recently, about his just availability. I don't exactly have it on me per se on the screen, but I'm pretty sure I can grab it up pretty quickly here. It was from George Dobell. The ECB have said that Rian Ahmed's ruled out of the remainder of the England Lions tour of Australia due to a right lower leg strain. Ahmed will fly back to the UK today to begin his recovery, so he's not even going to be in the country a month out from the BBL starting. That obviously can cause questions because he's not going to be here. But anyway, that is a little bit annoying, and there's potential. There's almost an exact replica person that I can go to if I had slightly more salary. It's about 6k out of my budget, but that would be Chowdhury, who will just fill in that role perfectly. I think they do go with another batter in their side. They're really short on batters at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see the way they go. But they do kind of need another batter with Ahmed going down with an injury if he is out for the first part of the tournament. Shadab Khan, 117.5k. The thing I will also say is we are talking about a lot of these injuries. This is still a month or so away from the season starting, 28 days. So even someone like a Nessa going into the Ashes squad, he's not going to be there, I don't think, come the third test or so. I think it's the third test is when the BBL starts, because Cummings should be back. You'll have guys like also Hayes will be touch and go probably for the third test, I would think. So, I think that the likes of Nessa will be fine by then. So I'm just not worried at the moment about it. That will come in probably the next or the final team reveal that I do, if that is still a question. Shadab Khan, we showed in the team preview, I think, was it Shadab Khan? We didn't show Shadab Khan actually, but I do have his numbers here. 63.8 there, just looking in case there's anything. In the PSL, he averaged 53 in the Vitality Blast, and in 2023 for the Hobart Hurricanes, he averaged 56.6, and he didn't even get off to a good start with the bat. So he's returning. I don't know if he's necessarily played just yet for Pakistan. I can double check that if he actually has played, but I don't know if he has particularly. Let me just do a quick double check of that, as I know Pakistan played recently against the Sri Lankans. Shadab Khan hasn't played yet, hasn't returned yet, it looks like, so that's a little bit annoying. But yeah, Babar Azam, 102 not in 119 balls for Pakistan. So, but I really like Shadab Khan's numbers, and 28 days and he's basically back playing. I think he'll do fine, and he does have in round one Hobart at Ninja Stadium, and then he has the double at the likes of NG and also Monaco, where he should do well. And then we just have Daniel Sams, who is a perennial, like, I don't know what happened last year. I think it was the injury that caused it halfway through the game. If we look at his numbers here, he was actually going 58. So if you take out the 15 that he scored in that game, because they were on singles at that point, he was on 206 through 4 games, which is an average of 51.5. So we're getting him at a 7-point discount anyway. And if we look at his previous seasons, he's done 55, 52, 61, 65. Yeah, there's just too much value here with Daniel Sams, is that the injury just makes it look like he's actually done worse than he has. So yeah, he is priced at the 44.2, and we take that and run because it is 7 points under, 7.5 points under of what he was doing last year, and about 10 points under, probably 10 to 12 points under on his historical average over the past 5 years. Now we get to the bowling, the batsman emergency spot, or the bench spot, sorry, and it's Michael Neser. I think this one everyone has pretty much set up that they've got him loaded there. Obviously no E for me because I've got it on Hardy, who looks as well, just as good, and at 74k, you basically can't go wrong with him. If we do remember the Perth Scorchers outfit for their side, it's going to be really, really weak. And I think Hardy, he's been bowling for the state side in pretty decent form there as well with the bat. I know he scored a 50 in their recent Shield thriller victory. So I think that Hardy will do pretty well in this tournament. I think he's so underpriced. I know he was battling injuries last year, but look, he's just so underpriced for 2 or 3 years of what he's done. I know in the past, that's what, now 4 or 5 years ago, that he struggled a little bit. But still, I think that if he can just return to bowling and have a semblance of how to pick up the bloody willow and bat, he'll be pretty good. So I think that he'll have to shoulder quite a lot of the load. But last year, 148 runs wasn't his greatest, and I think he can easily outdo that marker this year. And then in bowler slots, the ever reliable Nathan Ellis. I don't think he will move from my bowler 1 slot. Not many quality bowlers that are actually on the double early in terms of price point, as in high price plays, which is probably a really good thing. But yeah, Nathan Ellis, number 1 bowler for me. Then we have Abbott, who's gone down with a side strain or a hamstring strain, whatever it was, a good 4 days ago now, 5 days ago. That'll be a race to see him fit for round 1. I hope he is fit because I'd rather rejig this squad just slightly than have to try and get the likes of a replacement for Abbott, even though it would probably be Chowdhury and the likes of a who am I thinking of at this point? It would be Hayden Kerr that probably comes in for Abbott or gets that role better because they don't have access to Sam Curran just yet. But hopefully Abbott is fit. Meredith, 130k. I think on the double, you go for the strike bowlers, and Meredith is going to be bowling quite a fair bit in the... If you probably think about it, and I'm just going to think about it logically, if we say that the 4 overs at the end are called death overs, and we say that there's the 4 over power play and the 2 over power surge, I reckon 90% of those overs are going to be bowled by Meredith, Ellis, and Jordan. I think you might get 1 over out of someone like a Tim David or some spinner potentially or someone other. I don't think there'll be many overs bowled outside of those guys. maybe a Mitch Owen takes an over at the death or something like that, which you have him here, but I don't think there'll be many. So that's why I think you've got to have those 3 in, because they will be bowling the overs. Much to the same for the Sixers at the moment, with no Sam Curran and pending the fitness of a Sean Abbott, is that you'll be going for a Dwarshus, Edwards, Abbott. They're going to be bowling 90% of the overs you'd expect there as well, unless I have missed someone massively from the Sixers. Let me just double check that here. No, there's not going to be anyone that doesn't bowl overs there for the Sixers. Just looking at it, it will be Edwards, Abbott, and Dwarshus if they are all fit and firing. And then as well, Chris Jordan basically and Dwarshus under the same principle are going to be bowling those death overs, power surge overs, and power play overs. That's what we want from guys on the double early. Then we've got Bartlett and Swetson rounding it out, and this is mostly cash generation. And a little bit of just, and obviously if someone fires early, like and the good thing is we'll have an ability, I think, as well to swap out like I can do something like this and move a loop on field, a batter bowler. I think it'll be someone probably like a Will Stolzman. Doesn't work. There'll be someone else surely in the players 39k that I can grab up if I just go here, bat bowl, and let's go to this. Nope, I need DPP only. Let's see, it'd be Aiden O'Connor and Will Salzman. I could grab up an Aiden O'Connor pretty easily, and then for a Swetson, and that would line things up and allow me to put loops on very, very easily. And then that would just do really well. And that would also get me up a little bit more cash if I needed to, but I don't think I will need to. But Bartlett and Swetson on here, mostly for cash generation out of Swetson, as I think he does really well for the Stars, who have that round 3 double. He's my only Stars player currently. And then, Bartlett, just because I don't really want to hold a Shaheen Afridi on the bench early. I want to be grabbing into him through a Babar Azam, almost a straight swap. If Babar Azam can go off and hold his cash, then that would be perfect, because I obviously don't want to have to try to make up sort of 20k, but it is what it is. Now, if I haven't exactly shown you what I was talking about with the planning the doubles out, this is what I'm talking about. This you'll see right here is the current starting team. And you'll see how I can really access doubles really well. If we actually look at it here, there's 2 trades here that are being made, and there's a trade here being made. So this only encompasses 3 trades. If we actually look at it, as I don't know why that's done that. No fill, thank you. And then we'll also go in the black there. So that's encompassing 3 trades. Let me just do this just to make it obvious to you guys. They're trades. I don't care about the coloring at this point. And then this one I think has at least 3, has 4 trades in there. So we'll do that as well there. And we will just put the formatting across there. So there's 1 boost. There's 1 boost here, and there'll be probably 1 boost throughout the season as well. But I'm thinking you probably do want to try and you can probably flag this round a little bit. Probably flag this round. It's going to be this round that's going to be the danger round and setting up for it, I think. But yeah, just trying to manage the doubles very effectively, because I think you can get down to 1 or 2 Stars players here. You probably want 2 and then go back up to 4 or 5 here. You probably want, I would say, 5 here, and then let's just say 2 1 2 1, let's just say 0, maybe 3 here. Yeah, you probably want 3 there, and then 2, and then 0. That would get us to 15. Where's the other 2 players that I missed? There's 3 players here. I've missed someone, and I cannot pick it. So probably let's just do something like this, and then let's just add a strikers player for some reason. Something like that. I'm not really taking into account too much of this at the moment, but it is mostly just this first 3 rounds that I'm really trying to maximize. And I think some type of rotation, having out of 36 players to get 10, 18, 27 on the double in the first 3 rounds would be optimal. Maybe even going up to 28, like doing something like this and then 1 here, so that you can go down to 2 and go up to 4 there. Could be optimal. You might even get down to 5 here, or get up to 5 on the third week there. But yeah, trying to just optimize doubles here could be the best way around this. And yeah, that's what I'm looking at there too. Yeah, that's 4 trades there in that week. So yeah, that's how I'm. It's weird to say that. Yeah, here's the app, here's the interface, etc. How are you picking your players? I'm almost picking them off this spreadsheet, which is weird to say, but everything starts to align, and you get on the double, you're going to get 8, you're going to get 8, and sorry, you're going to get 10, you're going to get 8, and you're going to get 10 here. 28 players on the double in each in the course of the first 3 rounds is kind of a big difference maker, because those doubles are going to be effectively worth 30, 40, 50 points, expected points, I would say. And if you can get another 2 or 3 doublers on, that's another 150 expected points that you can get. So yeah, that kind of makes up for a lot of shortfalls, and it does help as well in case you have a stinker with one of your players, that yeah, if you can have the more people on the doubles, then a stinker game doesn't hurt as much. But anyway, that is the video there, going through my BBL SuperCoach team reveal 2.0 for the 25-26 season. I hope you guys enjoyed, and just as I was about to finish, I remembered I should probably actually just put my, or at least show my league in here. I haven't done it so far, which has been really annoying. But anyway, here's the league code 438257 for the SuperCoach Open League. And you guys can all join, and join the rest of us that are already in here for the season. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy that video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you guys back here for another team preview tomorrow on Monday, and then on Tuesday as well. So I'll see you guys back here on those days for those previews. So I'll see you guys then. Bye guys.